Scream! We're live.
What's up? What's up, Ida? What's happening?
I
You
don't
good?
know why I'm in a box. I'm
You're
in
in
a
a glass
box.
case of emotion.
It's confusing here. What is this place?
It's a new place, new channel. Who dis? I love that. Hi,
Hi.
everybody.
Oh
Welcome
my
in.
god, we have so many friends in the chat. Thank you so much for showing up. It's not a
Yeah,
fever dream.
it's real.
It's real. Hi. Welcome to the first ever stream of EUphoria. We are a brand spanking new channel, but not new faces. And we are here primarily to do all sorts of amazing TTRPG shit that's going to center all the talented, diverse creatives that are in Europe and outside of the US. If you haven't gotten it, EUphoria, the EU is kind of centered here, at least in this case, about Europe. So it's really clear what the fucking target audience is, or at the very least, it's not going to be US centered. Hi, my name is Aida. My pronouns are she and her. I'm a Latina queer woman of color. I have tan olive skin, misbehaving hair, that's short and a frizzy mess, and I'm wearing a tank top that says love in rainbow colors because it's the last day of Pride.
It's the last day of Pride, baby. What a way to take it out. I'm
And
JC Darcy.
my
You know me.
friends.
It's my turn now. I'm
My
JC
friends.
Darcy. I use they, she pronouns. I'm wearing a cardigan because it's actually quite cool in my house, and we're not getting a summer in the UK this year, apparently. I'm a white, queer, MB femme. I'm wearing my big round glasses today, and I have sort of shoulder-length brown hair and flash, shiny, sparkly rainbow headphones.
Ooh, didn't you have a summer last? Did you have a summer last week?
We I thought you were gonna say last year, to which the answer was yes. We had last year was the 40 degrees days summer. We had 2 days back to back where it was just like, don't move, don't leave the house, just stay still. And this year it's just like, no, it's raining again.
Oh, okay. I'm in the Netherlands, by the way. I'm an immigrant to the Netherlands. Last week we had a summer. It might be that was our allocated week of summer where it was like 27,
That's it.
28.
Nice. Done now.
We're done. Okay, bye everyone.
Okay, yeah, that's it. We're summer
No,
only show, and summer is finished in Europe.
I didn't get my
Which
alcohol.
what you drinking?
I have amaretto di Serono. For
Ooh.
Twitch, I have apple juice.
Yes, I'm pretty sure you're allowed. Are you allowed to drink alcohol on stream? We should have checked that. I just have Coke.
Just Coke.
Just Coke, yeah. Nothing to do with my friend. What's his name? There was several whiskeys on my shelf. Oh, James' son, not James, but James' son. He's a good friend of mine.
I want to meet James' father. I mean, I'm looking at daddies more than the boys nowadays.
All right, moving swiftly onwards. What are we doing, and why are we here
I
apart
don't
from exploring your
know.
psyche?
I don't know. Okay, fine. We're gonna look at mommies too.
No.
What? No.
TTRPGs. TTRPGs.
Okay.
Let's keep it on track.
Okay.
Guys, we've been working really hard,
We have
and we're
been.
having a drink to celebrate and to relax, and to just bring it down. Just got some soft jazz in the background, just to sit back and look at what we've achieved and what we're gonna achieve. Ida's right. We've got some amazing things planned. Most of the amazing things that we have planned have actually very little to do with Ida and I. It's mostly us just helping other people do even more amazing things. So we might talk a bit about some of the things that we're gonna do, a bit about some of the people who might be involved, and just give you lots of things to look forward to because we've kept it all to ourselves for so long. It's just now all gonna spill out.
And why is it that we are doing these things? And Darcy and I, so we both have worked in, managed, bossed, pushed, worked
Girl
trenches
bossed.
at all levels at
Girl
various
bossed.
other communities. And we were kick-ass there. Those places were very kick-ass. We met amazing people, all of you who are here from those places as well. And when my friends asked me, but then why are you doing this, Ida? And then I said, I named the other places that I helped out, multiples of them. And I'm like, who was the boss there? And they're like, you, Ida? I'm like, no. Oh. And for many, at least me personally, for a long time, I felt that's fine. I enjoy being in the trenches. I enjoy just,
Mhm.
it's not that I dislike being on camera or being in the front, but I like having that checklist and I feel fulfilled doing that in the back, etc. But to a certain point, it was like, if I'm going to effectively be the boss, why not just be the fucking boss for once?
Mhm. Yeah.
And and then I met someone on the exact same wavelength that worked at my exact same capacity, if not higher, likely higher. And so on a personal level, why are you here,
Yeah.
Darcy?
We're not gonna do the self-deprecating thing. That's
Mhm.
out for a start. That's one of the rules here. None of that self-deprecating thing. If you're here, if you're doing stuff with us, especially if you're a marginalized identity, you fucking take your wins. You talk about how great you are. You put yourself forward and you make sure that you're gonna achieve great things and that people know that you're gonna achieve great things. So, rule number 1, Ida, thank you for illustrating. Why am I here? That's a big question with a long answer. Um, yeah, to do what we wanna do at our own pace, to play the
Mhm.
games that we wanna play, to help other people play the games that they wanna play, and to give a voice to people who don't otherwise have it. It has felt like this space has not existed, precisely this space. There are a lot of other incredible channels run by incredible people who do fairly similar things, um, but this is something really specific. Market niche. That's what you've got to go for, right? This is our little market niche. It doesn't yet exist. And one of the wonderful things has been people saying, thank goodness this exists. Like, we need this. And we're so excited to see this exist. And when we started getting that feedback, that's when I thought, oh, okay, we are onto something. Definitely.
Yes. And I've done communities like Four Tales for years. I love them, and I was a big part of them. I was a big part of like that forward momentum. I was at Rule for Good for a couple of years, and I was part of that momentum of them getting
Hmm.
the the bigger things that they were onto. And I thought it was fairly clear from the get go that they are that niche of of Europe and
Hmm.
outside the US. Because I remember typing all of that. Everything you've seen on those social medias, I typed those things.
Yeah.
So when Euphoria starts slipping up, people are like, "Oh God, finally something." I'm like, "Finally?"
Have you not been paying attention? No,
But
but that's a very, again, very specific slices of a very similar pie, and I think it's absolutely great and fine that we're all gonna exist alongside each other.
yes,
We're not looking to take over anything, we're not looking to put anybody out of business. There's no competition in here, absolutely, genuinely, no competition. We love to help uplift other people, and it's incredible when we see people turning around and doing the same for us. I'm sure we've had this conversation on stream before, Ida, about innately feeling that urge to leave the door open behind you, to leave the ladder down once you've climbed up, and that is just such a core part of our ethos, like, we're here to help everybody. Everybody who deserves it. If you're a shithead, get out.
bye.
Bye.
Absolutely. Bye. Like TTRPGs is not a zero sum
Mhm.
space. People who are not people who are marginalized or people who what's the word are disadvantaged or disproportionately
Mm.
unrepresented,
Yeah.
them being in the space does not take away from other people already in the space.
Louder
as
for the
much
people in the
as
back.
i as much as I people might wish otherwise, Darcy and I being here does not minimize the power of cishet white man over there,
Unfortunately.
unfortunately.
With the caveats for, like, the 3 cishet white men I can think of who get a pass, who are genuine allies. Other than that, no. Everybody else to the
Mhm.
back. To the back.
Yeah. So that's a bit kind of why we're here. And Darcy and I have fucking pace, y'all. I had invited Darcy to do the Women in Gaming month on Horde of Tales
Yeah.
back in March, back in end December,
January?
January. And I'm
Yeah.
like, I want to do this thing. It needs to be in March. I can do this. I could probably do this on myself. But I also need someone that I have an already telepathic link likely with. Hey
Mm.
Darcy, what you doing?
Nothing.
Okay.
Nothing.
Well, you're just
I
being
just
awesome. You're busy being awesome, but do you have some time to like?
I just had a baby, so, like, I'm not really doing much. I'm taking a break. I'm on maternity leave from everything. Kind of
Mhm.
bored. What you got?
Well, I
What you
have
got?
a 40-hour week project for you.
Not quite. Not quite.
The last month, almost a little bit. March itself was a whew.
No, March, when it was up and running, it was fine. It was like January, February. February comes before March. February was when it was balls to the wall. Then it ran itself. We had all the spreadsheets, we had all the checklists. We're good. We're good at spreadsheets, you guys.
But we did it, and I was like, imagine if we could do more. And
Yeah.
then as we were in, Darcy and I shared other places, and it's not that the windows and doors were closed in our faces. They were not. They were
No.
closed, but and we could have pried them open. But the
Yeah.
thing is, I'd rather just have the key be mine, so to
Yes.
say.
Buy a whole new house. Start
Mhm.
from scratch. Get to redecorate everything. I love a good analogy with you, Ida. Like we're
Yeah,
really good at analogies.
yeah, we didn't
For
want to
the
rent
eagle-eyed,
anymore.
yeah, we wanted to buy, knock down the walls, get the layout exactly how we wanted. The eagle-eyed among you will have noticed the little rocket ship that features in a lot of our graphics. That's a little Easter egg that Ida and I have always had as a shorthand of wanting to blast off, wanting to go somewhere special, and needing a rocket ship to take us there. We've
Mhm.
often worked in places that had a rocket or had some jet fuel and had a qualified astrophysicist, but never had everything together. Nothing aligned perfectly. And this is, we hope, this is our rocket ship. This is the time to blast off.
Not Team Rocket blasting off,
No, no,
but
no, no, no.
going through the stars. And you know what? Maybe our rocket ship is right now a literal bottle rocket, and
Mm,
it still feels really damn good when that goes up into the
yeah,
sky.
yeah.
Maybe later it's going to be a drone. Maybe later it's going to be an unmanned aircraft, and
And then
maybe later
eventually,
we're gonna
like,
have like the goofiest art avatars of Darcy and I faces coming out of that little rocket going, "Ooh."
that's the, like, we literally have a goal of things to commission when we have money. And it's Chibi, Ida, and Darcy is like near the top of the list. I'm not even joking.
So beyond having Chibi, Ida, and Darcy in a rocket ship art, what are we planning to do here?
Oh, what are we not planning? We have a lot of plans. We're good at reining each other in and saying, this is the one that we can actively do now. So what we actively have planned, what we are actively doing behind the scenes, as in session zeros have already happened. There's a session zero happening tomorrow. This is in the planning stages, is our big launch event, Summer of Sci-Fi. Um, we're not doing sci-fi for any other reason than it was a good title, I think. It's not gonna be our focus. We're gonna have stories and TTRPGs from all sorts of genres, all kinds of stories from across the world. But right now we're focusing on some sci-fi. So we have 2 games, potentially 3 games. 2 games confirmed. We're working on a panel and we're working on an interview with a very exciting lady from the space from we're not going to announce that one completely, but somebody who works for a big publisher. Ida
Local
is,
here in this region.
yes, a UK/Ireland based publisher. Um, Ida is going to sit down with her and have what I know is going to be a fantastic conversation because Ida is just the best interviewer, just the most cozy, wholesome, chit chat conversationalist. I love to watch Ida's interviews. If you've never seen Ida interview anybody, go and check out her work on Roll for Good and Halls of Tales and places like that because it's just a
Thank
joy.
you. Thank you.
So that's gonna be great. We're hoping to get the gang back together for Tropes Part 2, the tropening,
Holy moly.
which is Fiona, Taylor Navarro, Emily Bates, Shamini Bundell, and Naomi Clark all getting together to chat about tropes, specifically about sci-fi tropes. Because again, if you missed that as part of the Women in Gaming event, holy hell, what a great time it was. Just an hour of these incredibly talented, exceptional storytellers and game designers just talking about tropes and genre. It was wonderful, and everybody at the end just wanted to do it again. So we're going to try and do it again.
They're doing it again. Otherwise, it's just going to be Fiona talking about her stack of dictionaries, which I'm all for.
Yes. Her
The
dictionaries have arrived. I am reliably informed they have made the trip across the ocean, and Fiona has her dictionary, so nobody needs to worry about anything.
Excellent. The other thing we're here going to do, and that's a really good launching point from there, that tropes talk was a cast entirely set in Europe. By the way, everyone, when we're talking about Europe here, we mean the geographic encompassing of Europe, which includes the UK, United Kingdom, fuck Brexit.
I
Um,
didn't vote for this shit.
we're not here to delineate Eastern Europe, Caucasus versus European Union. In fact, it's even cozier to assume that if we can get like the whole world under EMEA, so Europe, Middle East, Africa kind of slice, that'd
Mm.
be ideal, like this kind of big wide orange slice. But anyway, the entire cast of the tropes was all based in this community, in this region.
Mhm.
They were all queer feminine women, and they were
Not all
ethnically and
queer.
racially diverse, and all queer, and all ethnically and racially diverse. Which there are a lot of assumptions about what a European table looks like,
Mhm.
and tables cast like the tropes ones, and others that we have run at Horde of Tales, etc., at things that Darcy and I have produced and organized.
Mhm.
We think really breaks the mold and demonstrates that no, there is quite a lot of racial and
Mhm.
ethnic diversity of people of color, of BAME, of immigrants, and having an all POC table that is based in Europe, that is
Mhm.
geographically located in Europe, is not something that is impossible. It's not something that is even hard to
It
do.
really wasn't that hard. It's breaking the mold and it's going above, like, beating the bar, but it's such a shame that that's the case. Like, that bar is so low, and Ida in particular has proven this time and time again by pulling together these when you see the cast for the games that we've got coming up, like, it should always be like that, and that's what we're aiming for. No more tokenism, no more one person like, "Oh, we've ticked the box and now we've done a diversity." It's ingrained. It's more than just one person in one game. It's the community that we build and the pool of talent that we're able to draw from, and we're very lucky, I think, in a way that we are we know so many of these people. But for people
They,
who are
they
listening and watching and thinking, "How
exist.
do I?" Yeah, they exist, and it's not difficult to speak to them. If you're not on speaking terms with these people, if there's somebody that you admire and you think, "Oh, I'd love to have them at my table," not and make sure it's not just for a diversity for a start. "Oh, I just need a brown person." There's one. Absolutely not. Back of the line, try again. If there is somebody who's a POC in your region, you think, "God, they're so talented. I really love what they do with story. I really love what they do with character." Just reach out to them. Just have a chat and say, "Look, I've got this game coming up. I've got this event coming up. Would you like to be involved?" Chances are they're gonna say, "Well, actually, I'm incredibly busy because I have all this stuff at Euphoria I have to do," but they may be able to make time for they will be able to make time for you. People wanna play games. People wanna play games in a place where they're welcome to play games, and once you start curating that, it'll all fall into place.
They also want to play games in places that they feel respected, that they feel welcomed in, and
Mhm,
that acknowledges their existence. I've gotten a lot of pushback on Discord channels and on Reddit threads that, uh, yeah, it's just that it's not like the US. Like the US has all these woke things, and they have their history with
Oh,
slavery and Jim Crow, and
mhm.
we're not like that here. And I'm
No,
like,
no
and
slavery in the
and
EU.
and also there's just a different demographic. There's such a minority. There's such a low. Can you tell me the percentage of population? I'm just like,
No.
so I don't exist.
Yeah, no, you are actually not a woman of color living in the EU. Ida, could you
No,
fix that, please?
no.
Change all of your socials. Fix it.
I mean, oh my god, I've been here 14 years. That's ridiculous.
Jeez.
I've been here
No,
14
you
years.
haven't. You don't know what you're talking about.
No. I'm and all the other people who are either immigrants like myself or have been here
Mhm,
for generations or have mixed race biracial, they exist here. They
mhm.
are a great number of your population in your respective country. I have POC friends in Nordic countries. Don't you fucking tell me they don't exist
Yes.
otherwise. But they don't see themselves represented. I don't see myself represented on
Mhm,
local TV, in
mm,
local media, music, in my supermarkets. I'm not represented. There's like this little ethnic section
Mm.
where there's like really, really bad representations of, I don't even want to start. Yet there's a very big representation of people that look like me in the service sector, working at the fast
Mhm.
food shops, working at the fry shops, working at the discount household stores. But when it comes to places that matters of creativity, of leadership,
Mhm. Especially leadership.
holy moly, they're not there. But I'm crammed in a bus and tram with them,
Mhm.
so they don't exist.
And yet,
Fuck you for those
fuck
people who
you.
think
No, no,
that.
no. No. We're gonna blast the hinges off of that preconception. And we already have, we already are, and we're just gonna continue. And if that's our contribution, raising that bar, looking at other people and going, why aren't you doing this? Do better. We'll be happy. We'll be super happy.
Man, I
Man.
need to wet my
Get it all out. Get it all out. This is a safe space.
Speaking of safety, you go.
Yes. Oh, did you see that beautiful, beautiful segue? No, yeah, it is. It's baked in. It's something that we have experienced and constantly work to improve on. Especially, I know I'm not just speaking for myself. I've been involved with GRTW for the past 2 years. And Ida came on board and was in a couple of productions with us there. What Shout out Sarah Moore for introducing this process, this like scaffolding, what's the word I'm looking for? Structure of the way that safety is done. I'd never encountered anything like that before until I got to GITW. And we've tried very hard to mimic in a flattering way, mimic in like, we're not stealing your stuff. We're very clear that this is where it's come from. We've taken a bunch of safety protocols from GITW. We've incorporated a bunch of safety protocols from everywhere else that we've been because it's a process. This is the thing. This is what we've learned, that you can't just take a safety form and put it in front of players and go, "Done. Safety's done." No, you have to be aware of the answers that are going into. You have to have a facilitated, third-party facilitated session 0, which is gonna be mandatory for all of our shows, meaning somebody who is not playing at the table and somebody who is not the GM will run the safety portion of session 0 so that everybody is heard on an equal footing. Everything can be done anonymously. If you've been in a GRTW show or a Horde of Tales show recently, you are aware of this process. It is something that we are seeing more and more people mimic. Um, and that's how it should be because that's how the bar gets raised. If more people adopt this and it becomes the standard, again, we'll have done our job. We'll be contributing to something fantastic.
Uh, Effectively, every place that Darcy and I have been in, we've said, "Hey, boss, whoever boss is, in the multiple places where
Mhm.
we're at, this is the thing, and we're going to implement it." And boss was
Mhm.
like, "Oh, okay," and we're like, "Here," and then we've made that the standard. Uh, I've been on panels, I've been on talks with other people who've never heard about safety tools, and the biggest feedback is that's such a burden. It's so much extra
Oh,
work.
it's so much
The
work.
G
Get
the
out.
GM is already doing so much, and also these are
Well, true.
these are my friends, and we kind of know what that's about anyway. So why do we have to do that for position? One, it's worth the extra labor. Uh, Safety and comfort aren't things to be minimalized. And as someone that is inherently taking on responsibility as a GM, as a producer, as a showrunner, etc., if you don't have the means to take those extra steps, you shouldn't be doing the rest of that package. Uh, Two, yes, a GM does do an extraordinary amount of work, and we love GMs and we will support them in every way, shape, or form we can. Ergo, people like Ida and Darcy, who at the moment have the spoons to juggle multiple plates, we are trusted people who are trained and familiar with the process, do that for you because the GM safety matters. The producer safety matters as well. Producers are also
Mm.
encouraged to like, what are your lines, specifically your lines, because as producers, like that would have been veiled for me, but I can alt tab and look at a kittens or
Mhm.
something, whereas a player cannot. There's
I've
there's
had
levels
that
of flexibility.
conversation. Yeah.
Hmm.
Mhm.
So yeah, we can do it. We've done it in
Yeah.
multiple places. What's your excuse? And even if you don't have an excuse and you don't want anyone to know more about us, ask us. We're going to be having more series. We're going to probably,
Mhm.
Darcy, let's just make videos about it. We're going to
Yes,
open
we will.
communities, typed
Mhm.
documentation guides to share so that it
Yep.
becomes the standard. We're not the owners of this idea. We want to proliferate it
Exactly.
around.
Yeah, exactly. As long as we get credit, and as long as the credit has gone to the people who have laid the foundation for our work as well. Because again, this is something that happens constantly. So looking at you, cis het white men, the labor of people of color and women and queers is co-opted and passed off as their own, and we're not here for that. If you borrow something or take an idea from somebody, credit it. It's that simple.
There's even a copy paste section. It's like you have to do work to remove the credits.
Yes, it's more difficult to do that. So what are you doing? Stop it. Stop it.
They're yeah.
Yeah, but it's worth it. It's worth it. We have heard multiple times people saying, "Oh, this has been a fantastic table to be at because I have felt safe, because I have trusted that my lines are going to be respected, or that I have an opportunity to push back if they're not. I can make myself safe and keep other people safe at this table." And when you do that, when you have that trust and safety at a table, you can do fantastic things. I wouldn't want to play any game now, having been spoiled the way that I have been. But thinking of games that, like, I mean, you and I played Alien together. That has the
Mhm.
potential to go places that could get really dark and scary. GRTWs ran multiple seasons of Bluebeard's Bride. Couldn't even
Ooh.
imagine. Can you imagine playing that without really solid safety tools in place? It would go off the rails so fast. Nobody would feel safe. Nobody would feel comfortable. And the result would be obvious. When you want high quality production, you've got to put the work in.
Safety also happens before these session zeros. And this is another practice that Girls Run These Worlds has really standardized and is easy to continue anywhere else. And that is informing the cast before they're tossed into a table. These are your potential castmates, and or
Yes.
this is who I'm extending the invitation to. Tell me now. Here are their social media handles. Tell me now. Vibe check. Okay.
Hmm.
If God forbid there was something, then there is still time to make an excuse like, oh, I'm sorry, actually this happened, and we can take that before people are sent like, oh my God, actually that was my mortal enemy that you dropped me in with.
Yeah. But also, even if it's not on a personal level, it can just be, "Oh, I don't vibe with that person. Their playstyle's not for me. I'll drop out." But it can also be, "Hey, this is a dangerous person. This is a problematic player and a bad actor in the community." At that stage, we wanna know about it because we don't want them at our tables either.
Yeah.
So it benefits everybody.
We get casting calls and we go through socials. We've even had situations where not everyone is on social media, and that is absolutely
Mm,
valid. But we do our best. Again, Euphoria hasn't had a live show yet, an AP yet, but from all our other previous projects,
mm,
we do vetting. We talk to other people. Do you know
mhm.
this person? Someone's, hey, I am this person. I just joined this server because, and I am this and this. Looking through that through multiple things are also ways of vetting. And
Yeah,
at the end of the day, as producers, show producers, showrunners, we're staking our reputations on it as well.
yeah. And we really care about that. We care about the other stuff as well, but we really care. I'm joking. I'm joking. Vote for Ida as Best Producer at the Crit Awards, by the way, if you haven't already. This could be award-winning producer Ida, and it should be. Holy hell.
We gotta make the Euphoria
Frantic
Awards.
woos. Clip that. We might look into it. This is like the pie in the sky. Should we talk about some of the pie in the sky ideas? Like the ones that we haven't even really begun planning yet?
I want to talk about one more thing
Okay, yeah.
about standard wise, and
Mm.
I was fiddling already with it while we were talking because of a comment that that Mari had, Cat Kebard, about the captions being wonky.
Oh no.
They're fixed.
Of course they're fixed.
They're they're
Award-winning producer Ida is on the
they're
case. Of course
they're
they're
slightly
fixed.
more accessible now because they were being
Excellent.
generated a bit too quickly, and then it was hard to read while the text was kind of like thinking about what
Yeah.
it wanted to say. Subtitles, captions
Mm.
are going to always be default on our
Mhm.
channel, baked in, because I don't even like having to press the button and then having text just randomly plopped over my gorgeous overlay. No,
Mhm.
our content will always have dedicated accessibility.
Yeah.
Our accessibility for captions. Our content is always going to have dedicated accessibilities where we uh, introduce ourselves and give a
Mm.
basic description of who we are as well, because people who might be who might have a hard of seeing, it's
Mhm.
good for them to have an idea in their minds who is talking.
Yeah, I love that.
I can also relate to someone a little better if I kind of have a mental image, if this was a podcast in the future, for example.
Exactly. Yeah.
Captions are always going to be included. We're gonna have alt text on everything that we possibly can have alt text on our social medias. When we were like, oh, should we do buffer? Should we this? Should we that? My follow-up question was, can you upload alt text on that platform? To be determined, but we're gonna do it manually.
Mhm.
It kind of really has to be that way.
It should. It really should. And again, it's more work. It's way more work, but it's worth doing. We've
Yeah.
had conversations where, especially when we were talking about pre-recorded content, Ida, we were talking about captions. Um, Anybody who's seen the panel that Ida and I produced, we couldn't get captions working live that night when we were recording. So Ida and her incredible husband are able to generate the slickest, most accurate, most beautiful captions. If you've been watching me run Tales from the Loop over on Cat the Law Mistress channel, Ida's been phenomenal enough to generate those for us. It is
And
so
Darcy
clean.
also like edited them gorgeously, and they fit, and they've been clipped. I'm sure there's been little typos, but they're like so smooth, and they
Yeah,
detract nothing from the experience. They enhance the experience.
absolutely not. And so we talked about whether that was going to be a standard for us going forward. Somebody said in the chat, that's a lot of work. And we said, yeah, that's the standard we're going to hold ourselves to. If we're going to do it, we're going to do it properly. So for all of our pre-recorded content, you will see those captions.
Our media, our designs, our videos, our GIFs, our overlays, they're going to be made in mind for people that might have reactions to very bright colors or hard flashing animations. These things are kept in mind, not just because we personally know people, but we don't have to know someone to care about those needs. Wow! Can you
It's
imagine just having
wild.
empathy?
Yeah.
Wow!
No, what's that like? Sorry, I'm a robot on the internet. I don't understand that.
So,
Similarly, it's something that we have to take into consideration. Right now, our Discord is closed for cast and crew only. We might open it up one day. We'd like to build a little community there. That will be something that everybody has to take into consideration. Everybody loves to drop a nice, like, flashy GIF, but GIF, let's not have the conversation. But those can be really triggering for people, especially just open up Discord and all of a sudden they're being, like, mentally assaulted by flashing images. You need to take that into consideration so that every aspect of our community, not just Twitch, not just socials, is safe and accessible for everybody. As
yeah,
much as we can. We're saying, we're gonna do all these fantastic we're humans, we're fallible, we're still learning all the time. We might get things wrong, but we'll always try and course correct. That's all we can
yeah.
promise.
And I think that was a conversation we had about why the Discord wasn't open yet, for example,
Mm.
because when I mentioned earlier, we should do things to our capacity, and if we know we're not going to meet it, then they should not be done. At the moment, we have a bit of a skeleton crew, very hardworking. Each of us does the work of 5 people, but we have rules drafted, but they're not kind of formatted yet. So kind of without this step, it would be irresponsible to have everyone come in without that foundation first.
Yeah, absolutely. That's another fantastic segue, Ida. Have you done this before? Speaking of our crew, there's somebody that we haven't mentioned yet, and we really, really should, because we're calling ourselves co-captains, but we've got the best EXO, the absolute tippy toppest first mate on board helping us out. One of those. Is that how you out yourself as a millennial versus a Gen Z? I think Gen Zs do it like that. I'm a millennial.
Yeah,
I'm old school.
I'm
All heart. Let's give it up for Fiona Goddamn Howard, who is helping us out in immaculate ways. I think official title is going to be project manager for Summer of Sci-Fi. Just doing incredible work, being a wonderful sounding board, always there for a chat. Wish that they weren't in the US. How dare she move right when we were about to pick this project up. Fiona, sort it out. But yeah, no, I absolutely adore Fiona. Fiona ran Alien for Ida and I and killed us horribly. Killed me horribly. Ida survived. Shut up. And ever since then, like, Fiona's just one of my favorite people in the goddamn world. Like, one of the greatest GMs, one of the most phenomenal players, and just understands this industry on a level that I don't think many other people do.
Some
So to
people
have her
do
on
because she
team,
is nominated for Crit Award. Vote for Fiona.
nominated for Crit Award, go and vote for Fiona, vote for Fiona, vote for Ida. Don't vote for anybody. I'm sure there are other lovely people, but those are the important two. But we are honored to have her on board. And the support that she's lending is just, you know, when you're working on something and you're too close to it, it's so nice to have that one person who's like, guys, I think you missed a spot. That's Fiona. But instead of just being you missed a spot, she's like, I've got it. I've got that spot. Don't worry. I've got the roller. She's there. She's phenomenal.
So, yeah, Fiona is really captains or whatever little cute nicknames we're putting for each other. Yeah, important. But if no one's fucking steering the rudder in the end, we're going to crash into the rocks.
Yeah. And we don't want that.
We do not
We're
want
carrying
that.
a lot of fuel. That's going to be a hell of a fire.
Yeah, we are eventually, as we get our footing a bit more. As we get our footing, we're going to be looking for people to join that inner circle. But we also had a discussion that the people who are
Yes.
going to be joining inner circle, the next one, two, it have to be
3.
POC. Sorry, not sorry, not sorry.
Sorry, not sorry. I mean, we've already got some people lined up when we're talking to and we think might be really good for certain projects, but
Yes.
not to rule anything out.
I've had people like, yes, how can I help? And I'm like, you're going to help, great. But internally,
Yeah.
I'm like, but the next people on board have to be POC.
We're always going to
Because
keep that balance.
if at our tables, I have my own personal rule that I don't want to be the only POC on at a TTRPG table.
Valid.
Why shouldn't that be the case anywhere else, even in leadership?
Yeah, absolutely. And again, it's raising the bar. You mentioned it before. It's all very well and good white women sitting here going, and no offense, white women. I sort of am one. Oh, I'm gonna help. I'm gonna help the POCs and give them a leg up. Good, excellent. That's the baseline of what you should be doing with your white privilege. But if you're not also making space for POC in leadership, you're only doing half the job.
So once I
Preachy,
have
preachy, preachy. Shut the fuck up, Darcy. Let's talk about some fun stuff.
once we have all the POC, then we're gonna have everyone else in Europe here, and it's okay. That's just how it's gonna go. It'll happen tomorrow.
Yeah. Wait, what?
Well, at the rate we're going, we had
Yes,
this little bitty
and
goal. It's like we
what?
want 20 followers, and now we've gotten over that goal. Can I edit?
You're joking.
We just
Oh,
want 23 followers. Thank you so much, everyone.
thank you so much, everybody. Honestly, the response has been absolutely wild. It's been humbling to see. It's so, so nice. So thank you guys. Fun
Oh,
stuff. Come
fun.
on.
Did we get everything?
I think
Is
so.
the lower barriers, is that fun? Or is that
It's
foundation?
kind of fun. Yeah, it's all right. All right. It's the last foundational thing, and then we'll
Okay,
talk about
okay,
fun
okay,
stuff.
okay,
You
okay,
want to take
okay.
it?
You do it. You do it.
Yeah, basically the gist is that more people playing more games. Done. Okay, fun stuff. No. Um Streaming's pretty involved. It's pretty difficult, especially if you've never ever done it before. I streamed for the first time with GICW, and the community and the intention of sharing knowledge is like it was and is such a huge part of that community. One of our favorite things as council was to see people start their shows there. Some people streaming. I'm going to shout it out. I'm going to shout out Kat, the Law Mistress. Kat GM'd for the first time ever on stream at GRCW and is now running the 3rd season of that show on their Twitch channel. That's the success story. That's gaining the skills, that's uplifting other women, uplifting other marginalized people, helping them do what they want to do where they may not have otherwise been able to do it. So baked in is going to be, as Ida was saying, that proliferation of knowledge. We're not going to hold on to anything. We're not going to gatekeep. If you don't know how to do something, ask and we'll tell you. Once you've got all those skills, we're going to help you jump out of the nest and fly. That's what we want because then you can go on exactly this success story. I started GSCW and now look what I am, making more things, making more stories, helping more people stream. And that's what we want to see more of. But also more people playing. From the counter point, it can be a bit of a closed bubble sometimes, especially on Twitter. And getting more people to play for the first time, I think, is only going to benefit everybody, the whole industry. More players, more GMs, and then turning those people, or if they want to do it first, getting them writing, getting people writing their own supplements, getting people designing their own games. It's selfish. I just want more games. So we're going to do everything we can to make that happen.
I just wanted to not be awake at 2 in the morning.
That's fair and valid.
I think we
I've
just
done that.
last foundational point that,
Yeah.
and the amazing success and getting to enjoy the talent of Kat. And maybe I'm projecting here, but maybe Kat had offers to go play in other places. Oh, I remember she was playing at this one game, and she suggested that they go raid Horde of Tilt, which was very generous of hers. And she was asked to spell it out, and she spelled it out H. In America, we say H and not H.
We'll fight over that later. You're in the EU now, baby. You got to adapt. We say GIF, not GIF.
and being that sort of isolated in your own cultural norms, in your own language capacities, where people here are more multilingual. English is not necessarily the only language they speak or their first language at all.
Yeah.
And also that the fact that to be part of that live community, it's reasonable o'clock.
I love that.
It is reasonable o'clock, where I've been on amazing tables with wonderful that I don't regret, but they didn't understand how time zones worked. And they're like, oh no, it's evening for you. Should be fine, right? And I'm like, that doesn't look right, but I'll take your word for it. Oh no, it starts at midnight. Okay, I said yes, so I'll be there. Was crashing. I had these these coffee candies on my desk, and I was like, I gotta be like on my game. I'm representing. Ha ha ha. No. I am an old millennial. I can't keep that. I can't keep doing that anymore.
It's a young person's game. Yeah, I've done that. I streamed 12 till 4 a.m. one time, 2 times I think. And I was sitting in front of a window and people were messaging me like, I can see the sun coming up behind you. Are you okay? I was like, no, this combat is dragging. Kill me now. Never again. Never again.
As someone who was born and raised in New York City, I'm sorry. The US is not the center of the universe.
Correct.
There are
hard pill to swallow, but it's true.
Oh, sorry, New Yorkers. My body's rejecting this statement, but nonetheless, we have community here that deserves a place to shine, that deserves to be, deserves to have accessible communities, accessible resources, accessible connections to make. People say you've made it big when you get to play with East Coast and West Coast. Why don't you get to say that playing here in Europe?
I've never heard that, thankfully.
Soon. And that is going to, those are our dreams and aspirations for Euphoria as a bigger project.
Yeah. Fun stuff.
I think fun stuff.
Okay.
Fun stuff.
So we already talked about summer sci-fi. Do you want to tease a little bit of the games that we have going, maybe? Just a smidge. Just, well, I know we can't for one of them in particular.
Yeah.
Should we announce the first one?
Okay. Yeah. We're going to be playing a game by this tiny little studio.
I'd never heard of them before this.
Figa Liga?
Free Ligan?
Free League.
Free League, baby!
Free League Games. They're an amazing, wonderful publishing company, designing company in Europe, in Sweden. Who have made amazing games like Alien RPG, like Blade Runner, like Vaesen. Their games have won, I don't know how many Annie
all
awards.
Of the Annies. All of the
really,
Annies, I think.
They have.
Yeah.
And we're playing Coriolis.
Not just Coriolis. Coriolis the Great Dark.
Coriolis the Great Dark. And not just Coriolis the Great Dark, but we are playing Coriolis the Great Dark with Darcy.
With the whole cast? The whole cast?
Fiona.
Who?
With award-nominated Fiona.
Correct.
With Cash. Cash is an amazing talent from Germany. She is amazing. She's done in-studio, in-person APs on sets. I love Cash.
I'm going to drop these people's socials, because if you're not following them, you should be.
Most people might already know Draconics.
Who?
Draconics.
Drac?
We got a Drax.
Drac. We got Drac for our first game. What the fuck? Who else? There's some absolute no mark in there. I don't know how they scraped their way into that cast, but they managed it. What's their name?
To be honest, this person has not been in my personal circle, and Discord is covering their name for safety reasons because I have OBS open. That is a good thing.
It's me. I get to play with these people. What the hell?
Oh my god, Darcy.
I was like, we'll play this. No, okay. The reason for this game is that Fiona and I wanted to play a game together. I've GM for Fiona. Fiona's GM for me. We're like, we need to be somebody else's problem. Whose problem did we make it? Can you remember? Whose problem are we going to be?
This really shy person, I think.
So the shyest.
The shyest. Eddie?
I think they call him Eddie.
Has anyone called him Eddie? I'm sorry.
He's gonna fucking hate that. No, absolutely not.
Edward Spence.
Edward Spence is gonna GM Coriolis the Great Dark. That's gonna be pre-recorded throughout July and aired on Thursdays in August, I believe. I think I've got that date right. A 4-part miniseries. Yeah. Keep your eyes peeled to socials. 4-part series. We've only got access to the quick start, so we haven't got all the rules, but Ed is going to create a whole fresh adventure for us. So
Danny.
So excited. And Danny, of course, Danny from Modified Roll. What? How did we get Danny? That my brain was just like, no, there's no way that actually happened. But it did, you guys.
The other table. We're working on it. People's real life comfort comes first before games.
Mm-hmm.
But this is nonetheless a banging cast, which I will have in some capacity. They will be on EUphoria.
Absolutely.
Once the real life is settled, which unfortunately came into the situation. But they are also award winners and award nominators. IRL performances among their chops, ridiculously. I love it.
It's gonna be phenomenal, you guys. It's gonna be phenomenal.
Yeah, people saying they can't cheer. The more followers we have, the sooner we can open these kind of things like emojis and chat rewards. So soon. Thank you so much, everyone, for helping us out with your follows. It's really. I just feel
really appreciate it
in my heart.
We are going to push for affiliate as soon as we possibly can. We would like to get that before August, if possible.
Nice.
And looks like we're well on the way. So thank you all so much. But yeah, that'd be fantastic if people can follow us and subscribe and all those wonderful things when they open up. We're always going to try to pay people. That is something else that is really fundamental to us.
Holy moly.
Try. Even if it's, I mean, you know, we've done events where you and I we've paid players like $5, and we know it's not much, but sometimes it's just enough. And sometimes people have accepted it, and that particular event, it was, do you want it or do you want to donate it to charity? And a lot of people donated to charity, but that was nice as well, to have that money, to have that capability to prove that we're taking this seriously and that we take people's time seriously. Because yes, it's games, yes, it's fun, but excuse me, it's also work. People put in a lot of work. And Ida and I have, forgive me for saying it, we've got basically no life. Like this, we do this for fun. But sometimes people carve out time in their schedules and take time away from their families or their friends or their jobs. And we want to respect that as much as we possibly can. So subscriptions will make all the difference. Patreon, when it launches, will make all the difference. And if you happen to be watching this and you're a major publisher, please pay us money and we will run your games and we will do a great job of it. So that's another aim that we have, is to try and get people paid as much as we can.
We are very good at producing APs, events, live stream, post-edited. They are methods of marketing. People can engage, learn about your game, specific mechanics. When I am invited to play a new game or GM a different game I've never played before, I look for APs.
The first thing I do.
Because very likely those small games likely don't have the tutorials the way D&D or Vampire or Pathfinder do, but they'll have an AP likely somewhere or a solo play. And if I don't have that, I need to see. I'm a visual learner.
Same. I'm always more confident running a game. I'm more likely to run a game, and I'm more likely to recommend a game to a friend if I can see somebody else play it first. So we hope to prove that that's a viable thing for big publishers, but also to be able to produce that sort of content for smaller publishers, for people who maybe don't have a massive budget. All right, it might be £5 per person, but if we can benefit you a little bit by helping get your game in front of people's faces, getting more people playing that game, that's something we'll definitely be able to talk about, especially for people in marginalized backgrounds, especially for people from outside of the US.
Add it
Um,
to your Kickstarters.
Add it to your Kickstarter. It's a great thing to do. We've already been talking to some people who are like, I'm going to run a Kickstarter with this. Would you like to be a stretch goal? That's a great way of doing it because you don't have to put any risk. We can maybe make you a little tutorial to put in your Kickstarter page and then run a bigger campaign afterwards. Wouldn't that be great?
Wouldn't that be nice? I think that'd
So
be very nice.
I think that'd be wonderful. Thinking of
Mm.
things that would be wonderful. What else
Hey,
have we got coming down the pipeline? We've talked about Summer of Sci-Fi. That's coming this August. What else have we got on the chopping block?
after that, sleep,
Sleep.
and then
A little bit
after
of sleep.
a little bit of sleep, and then after that, um, God, there's such a huge audience for horror, TTRPGs, scary stories. Darcy and I have probably been scared out of our minds thanks to Fiona, and
So
we
good.
loved it.
I got my head crushed by an alien. It's so good.
Man, oh, so just the horror of picking up 15 dice and rolling them.
Oh, that sound never leaves you.
So we're hoping to do something fun, spooky fun, scary fun for Halloween. Ideas are kind of circulating.
Yeah, we got something in pre-production already. That's going to be great. We're not going to talk about that too much.
Yeah. We're going to look at basically major holidays, major annual events.
Mm-hmm.
We've already trademarked our Women's History Month for next year.
Yep,
That's a thing. That's going to be a thing.
definitely.
We were
The
talking.
other one in October we would love, and again, if people are watching and people are listening
Yes,
and they'd like
yes.
to
Oh my
pitch
God.
us something, October is British Black History Month. We would absolutely love to get together an all British, all black table running a all British game. Like if there's a black British producer, designer, creator out there, you got a little game that you would like to get an incredibly talented table together for, let us know because we would love to do that throughout October.
Wackadoo, wackadoo, wackadoo. Let me produce that. Let me
Ooh,
produce that.
hang on. Let me write that down on the list. Yep, it's in the list. Okay, cool.
We know people. We know
Let's
people.
make it happen.
Please, I want to produce that. Let me love that game. Let me make you all the overlays. Let me hurt those cats. Let me market it. Let me uplift, please.
All right, let's do it. You heard it here first. We haven't even spoken to the producers, but that's going to happen. Yep, absolutely.
It's gonna happen. We've talked about what charity initiatives we want to do through. We want to give back to the larger non-TTRPG community.
Yeah.
To borrow words from Roll for Good, that I wrote a lot of them.
To borrow my own words.
The TTRPG community has this capacity that in recognizing that the world, we're inspired by the world and we recognize the joy it brings us, how it can uplift us in difficult times, whether they're external or internal. We have, as the TTRPG community, the capacity to internalize that and make that a force for good that other people really need and convert that into donations, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we're absolutely going to have charity initiatives going forward as well. That's on the short list.
We got some collabs in the works. We've been talking to some people from
Oh man,
probably some of the best British, all British, 1, 2, 3, I believe all British channels and podcast producers. There's a really exciting collaboration in the works, which I am really, really looking forward to. That is going to span like 3 months if it comes together the way that it's currently being planned. So look out for that. We are so honored. They reached out to us almost as soon as we announced that we existed, which was again hugely flattering and really, really life affirming. Really, really hope that we can work with those people because that would be phenomenal.
Also, I have a Darcy's face. It has a very special place in my heart, frankly.
His
But
face.
yeah, your face. I like your face. But we're also like, you know what? Podcasts need to happen too.
Podcasts.
podcast.
Oh God, if only we had somebody on board on the team who is a really amazing Crit Award nominated podcaster who could help spearhead that production process. Mm.
Mm,
Mm.
all the
Yeah,
things. We're gonna do all the things.
yeah. And then I think the final thing, once we get our community up and running, something that we're really keen on doing is workshops and again, that proliferation of knowledge. I said it 3 times tonight without stumbling on it. It's the last time. That's how much juice I have left.
Ooh,
Proliferation of knowledge, of sharing, of getting people in to just do talks and, just drop documents of, "This is how I do things. It may work for you. It may not. This is my specialization." We know people who have run incredibly successful Kickstarters. We know people who podcast and are exceptionally good at it. Um, Entry level stuff, again, get more people doing more things, I think is a really big goal. Um, Something that I have heard, and Taylor Navarro, if you're not following Taylor Navarro, please do. If you are a POC, specifically in the UK, please
mm-hmm.
go and follow her and find out more about her initiative over at Tin. She has a lounge in their Discord server specifically for POC creators. Please go and get involved because that's just such a wonderful initiative. I've been talking to her recently about how she needs to know more POC designers, specifically game designers, because I think she said, "I know 3 and I'm one of them," and she's not happy about that. So,
Yeah.
one thing that we would love to do is to have game jams, to have people talk about game design. It's a completely separate skill set from writing, and a lot of people don't recognize that. So, the leap to game design to start out can be really, really intimidating, but we wanna help more people get there. We want more games published, especially by POC and femmes and queers and neurodivergents and disabled and people outside the US.
People outside the US. Darcy, you and I have mused about like, you know what? Once our community gets bigger and we have more a bigger team, especially
Mm,
people that we trust that aren't native English speakers or UK based,
yeah.
why not have a German speaking table? Why
Oh, I
not
would love
have
that
a Spanish
so
speaking table, a
much.
French speaking table, a Dutch speaking table?
Love that. I would love that.
We of course are going to, we will need, and we are going to have, if we ever get there, people that we trust that can manage that language, because
Yeah.
uh we should edit the rules. Like, example, chat should be in English.
Mm.
I broke my rule without even saying it first. I said sleep well. I said slap lekker, as you for AP to Katika Kevad, because she's Dutch. I live in the Netherlands, but
Mm.
there could be a Dutch speaking table that includes femmes
So
and
wish.
POC. And POC is that really important part? Is that really
Yep.
important part?
It's so doable. It's so achievable. It'll take a bit of work. I think it will take a bit of proof of concept
Mhm.
of putting people out there and showing them do it, probably in English first. But yeah, that would be so gratifying. That'd be amazing to see.
And you all speak English. I know you all speak English. Get your asses in here in
Mhm.
Spanish. ¿Me entienden? Hablan inglés. ¿Ustedes hablan inglés? Vengan aquí. Jugaremos después. Jueguen en español. So I just said in Spanish, I know you understand me. You can hear me. Come here, play English, feel it out, then you play in Spanish. I have
Aquí.
some alcohol in me,
Mm.
in Dutch. Kom met ons samen spelen, maar eerst in Engels, daarna misschien of wel in Nederlands doen. Maar eerst moet je in Engels, maar je kan wel Engels doen. Dat weet ik wel. And I said in Dutch, come here, play with us. You're welcome here. You gotta do it in English first. And then once we're cool, maybe, no, sure, you're gonna be playing in Dutch. But you gotta come here. You have to come here. It's doable.
There's always the possibility as well. I think I've discussed this with somebody this week. I have so many discussions. Um, we just sit in these chairs and talk to each other, you guys. This is the greatest ever. If we can just like, this will never gonna be our full-time job, but if we can get by on this, I would be so happy. Um, Community games as well. Like, not everything has to be for content. If we can get together a community of people, if you have 5 Dutch people in our community server and you just want to run a game, go for it. That'd be
Hold
so
on.
great. Again, proof of
1,
concept.
2, 3. We
Do
got
it.
4 in the chat right now.
Do it right now. Get in it. Go and play Zaba's Men of Breakfast in Dutch immediately.
Anna,
God, that would be. I would
Marcus,
watch that.
get in here. Well, Mari went to bed, so.
Oh well. All right. Tomorrow. Okay. Fine. But yeah, we would love to see that happen in server and then as content as well. That would just be sending up the flag, like saying, "Here we are. This is what we do, and we do it really fucking well. Everybody is
Mhm.
welcome here." That would just
Every
be
I would love that. But then, of course, we're going to take safety, of course, because we
Mm,
need to be able to provide a safe environment
yes.
for people in Twitch chats. And I
Mhm.
recognize it can also be isolating when you're like, oh, I feel really left out. Oh, I don't understand what you're saying. There's different cultural contexts. Well, that's what like most Europeans feel when they're in American predominant spaces.
Exactly. Yep.
There's room for all of us. And the
Exactly.
majority of us speak English, might as well. Every now and then, you know, flex their English skills. I know people don't always have confidence in their English
Mm,
skills. This is a safe space to do that. I know I'm going to be like really enforcing these kind of etiquettes and these practices. We do not make fun or poke at people who may be uncomfortable with their English
yeah.
level. One,
Yeah.
English is fucking hard. I was an
It's
English
so
teacher.
hard.
I was a teacher for 2 years. English makes no sense. It is
No.
hard.
No.
And and two, you can be forgiven because English is likely your second or third language. People making fun of your English can barely speak their own. So fuck that noise
Yeah.
anyway.
Your Spanish and your Dutch will always be better than no, your English is better than my Spanish and my Dutch. And your Spanish is better than my Dutch. And your Dutch is better than my Spanish. I'm
Okay.
gonna finish this drink now. All
uh,
right.
to Freya, I do speak other languages, but unfortunately, they're not our target audience. I was
Mm,
talking to Darcy a bit about the World Cup, the Euro Cup football
mm.
tournament happening, and I did work in Albania for 2 years, so I spoke Albanian for that whole time. And I haven't spoken it in like over 10 years now, but watching the football games, I start yelling in Albanian. And before that, I was actually in Georgia and I had to learn the language there, like really fast learning. And I haven't spoken that in even longer. But watching the game, I was like screaming at the screen in Georgian. I have a degree in
Incredible.
Japanese, not the target
Hmm.
audience here, so I'm not going to, don't need to do
Not
that.
yet. Not yet.
It's outside the US. Time zones is going to be a thing. I want to
Yes.
uplift and collaborate with communities that are region specific as
Yes.
well.
Yeah.
I want to, I'm going to find the LATAM communities. And
Oh, they're out there.
they speak English too.
Hmm.
They
Of
speak English too. Or we're going to play
course.
Spanish. The SEA community,
Yeah.
also huge and wonderful. Also English speaking. Wow. The Desi community,
Yeah.
fantastic, talented, vibrant,
Yeah.
active, award winning. They speak
Yeah.
English too. There's no
Absolutely.
excuse.
So
There's no excuse.
we're not dreaming small. You may have gathered. We are
No.
taking this very, very seriously. We're putting all of our energy into this. Um, let's see where we can go. Let's see how close to the moon we can get, and if we at least end up amongst the stars. Everybody's support has been really affirming. Like, we know that we're on the right track here. We know that we've hit upon something that people appreciate and need. So yeah, keep your eyes peeled. What are we gonna do in between now and August, Ida? How are we gonna make that push for affiliate?
We're going to
Talk about
drink
that?
more on stream.
Yep. It's what the people want.
We're going to invite a friend or two to come and chit chat with us. We're going to have some structure to the chats. And one suggestion I made that I was very pleased,
I'm sorry.
surprised that had
I'm so
leg
sorry.
to
Can I
it.
just stop you right there? Are you
Yes,
implying that there hasn't been a structure to this chat? Because how dare you?
future chats. I set expectations low because then I like leaping over them.
Yeah.
One idea is like we can have sort of chit chats about TTRPGs in general and espouse how problems in other spaces
Yeah.
actually can be solved or better approached via methodology, the Euphoria methodology and mindset. For example, if we can go, I'm going to go right now to the Reddit and go
Do
to
it.
the D&D subreddit right now, and I'm looking at it. And what are people yelling about? Uh, okay,
There's always something.
with 2,000 upvotes right now, how do I kindly tell a player to stop chanting verbal components?
What?
One of my players is playing a life domain cleric. Everything is fine, but there's a singular issue. He always chants the verbal components of his spells in Latin. Again, there would be no issue if he didn't make it so long. I'm talking 4 to 5 sentences long. Okay.
What? That sounds amazing. I would love that player at my table. Are you kidding me? That
He
sounds
does it.
rad.
He does it every single time, even for cantrips and level 1 spells. So
Awesome.
one discussion point. So just like quick snippet how this could be, because this won't be the topic we talk about next time.
Yeah.
Absolutely award creativity. Absolutely award creativity. But if this is a problem for some people, this sort of expectation at the of behavior at a table should be something you hammer down in the session 0.
Correct.
And session 0s don't just happen before a campaign starts. You can pause a campaign, or after your game, it's like, hey, can we have a 0.5 or a retouch?
Refresher.
And you talk about it like mature adults.
What?
You can frame it as, hey, I enjoy the role play aspect, but I recognize that this is a bit stilting combat, for example. What are compromises we can possibly reach to address the situation? Well, you can like maybe say a sentence or squeeze it in 6 seconds, which is the traditional D&D time of an action. Maybe that's an issue. Etc. etc. Thoughts. Hey,
Yeah.
are there other games that actually reward this kind of verbosity in spell casting or in role playing?
From my point of view, I wouldn't even necessarily I am who I am, and I am the GM and the
Mm.
player that I am, wouldn't require that to be rewarded. Like, one of the things that especially from a streaming point of view, that I always miss quite a lot is having music and a soundtrack or a soundscape, because it's difficult in terms of like copyright, and you get your strikes and things like that. You have to be careful what you have. But when I played home games way back when, it was incredible to be able to have music playing that as a GM you could adjust, that could evoke some sort of atmosphere and mood change. And I would say to that player, can you do like one sentence really loud, and then I'll start narrating and you can keep doing it underneath. That would be so evocative and so cool. I would love to have that at my table.
That is a great compromise where the player gets that creative outlet, but it's something that's sort of ingrained to the general feeling and doesn't
Mm.
just to other people might look like, oh, this person is just spotlight hogging.
Yes, yeah, that's fair.
But those feelings should also be hashed out in session 0s about expectations at the table as
Mhm,
to what behaviors are okay beyond
mhm.
things like lines and veils.
Yeah. But also, session 0 is only one safety tool. Maybe this is something we should have touched on earlier. There should always be active safety tools at a table. There should always
Mm.
be the expectation that you can check in above the table in the moment. Because as much as I've just espoused something like immersion, fantastic, also don't be afraid to break immersion for people's safety and comfort and enjoyment. You could check in and say, that's really cool. Can I ask you to drop it? And then we'll carry on. In the moment. Done. Next
So,
problem, Ida. Let's go.
basically, future chats until we reach affiliate, etc.
Yeah.
We're going to have these sort of, we're going to solve TTRPGs. We're going to
We're
solve
going to
Reddit
fix
TTRPGs
all of TTRPGs. Yeah.
with our takes on it, and or is there another game system that actually rewards or does this other thing better? Because that is a really big problem on Reddit.
Yes. Yeah.
Darcy had the also wonderful idea that we do co-working streams.
Mm. I love those. I love when my friends do them and I could just hop in and chill out and get some stuff done. I'm terrible at getting stuff done unless I have an impetus to do it. I love a Pomodoro timer. I would always be happy to hop on and just be like, right, we're gonna work for 20 minutes. Quiet, royalty-free lo-fi in the background. Tippy tappy, tippy tappy. A lot of neurodivergent people really benefit from body doubling, from being in a space where somebody else is doing the same thing, and so you have a space to do that as well. I would love to do those. I probably will do those.
The overlay's done. It's in Canva.
Is it really? Okay, I'm gonna
No,
do a
really.
co-working stream this week. Wait, am I recording this week? I'm gonna do a co-working stream at some point. Don't think I'm recording this week. Probably Thursday. I'll do a co-working stream.
I will.
Um,
Right now, it's set up that there's 2 people co-working, but I can make a overlay copy. There's only 1 person.
yeah,
It's done.
that'd be awesome.
We're that kind of thing. It's like someone has an idea. Oh, here it's done.
It's done. I come up
Sorry.
with ideas, and Ida makes them happen. That is how this dynamic works, and I love it.
I love it too, because sometimes the hardest thing for me is having that creative spark. If someone has the creative spark, I have the spark to actualize.
Yeah,
I don't have the necessarily the creative spark.
Yeah, it works out really well, you guys. And then also we might just play some games. Like you
Yeah.
and Fiona and I talked about some Jackbox or some Among Us. Just naked BG3 run. Let's go. I was expecting way more enthusiasm. Okay, I'll go back to the drawing board. Fine.
Oh, I
We might
haven't
just hang out
actually
and play
played
some games.
BGE yet. I
We could
have
do
not
that.
played it.
We
I
could
have
do that.
not. You can see Ida's first baby reaction to her first Baldur's Gate.
We can make it happen. We have the technology.
We can make it happen. And then once we have that sort of forward momentum going, once we have a better idea of what people want to see, what people want, we're going to have hopefully avenues for Patreon.
Yes.
Where it's not just, we'll give you your money, but what sort of value can we give
Content.
for that in exchange that you
Yeah.
want to see, that also makes your space or the community richer for doing it?
Yeah.
Whether it's one-on-one sessions to like, Ida, how did you get those captions done? I will tell you outright how I do it. I will
You
give
won't
you all
be
the
able to do it.
documentation. But if you wanted like a one-on-one hour where I do it step by step with you, yeah, that can be a thing.
Yeah.
If you would say like, I want to run an AP, I want to do it myself, but I don't know the steps. I can give you our spreadsheets. I can give you other flow charts that we get our inspiration, and that's never going to be paywalled.
Yeah.
But if you want our time handheld for an hour or two,
absolutely,
that could be a thing.
That could definitely be a thing. I think a lot of people could benefit from that from you.
Yeah. So
and then we also might have people run. I don't even know if I've ran this one past you, Ida, but this was an idea that was at GRCW that never quite got off the ground. We don't need to start playing. What if we have people run paid games via our Patreon? I've seen people do this via Patreon, where it's like a limited, like only a 5-slot tier. And you can come play a one shot with some of our they are pro GMs. Let's be Edward fucking Spence. Like, yeah, people are gonna play in that game.
Do you want to play
I don't know
Lancer with Darcy? You want to play Lancer with Darcy?
Lancer in so long, you guys. Somebody pay me to run Lancer, I'd die. But when we start, we've already got some incredible people. I'm not vouching for Edward Spence's time or like Draconic's time, but that would be something that Start Playing takes a cut. And I've heard they're kind of shitty as a company. We're not. We're great people. Look how awesome we are. Give us your money instead, and we'll funnel it directly to the GMs who deserve it. And make a safe space for you and go through all of the processes that we would go through for an AP, so you'll still get that third-party facilitated safety session 0. All the benefits of being on stream, but without having to be perceived, which is a problem for some people. So that could be a thing.
All forms of loving and enjoying TTRPG content are valid. You don't have to be a mega constant streamer, GM, or player. You don't have to be an artist, a designer, an editor. You don't even have to have ever played. If it has a soft spot in your heart, if your curiosity or something about it brings you joy, and you want to be with other people of the same wavelength, who are also open, welcoming, compassionate, and kind, and are not based in the US primarily, then EUphoria is the place for you.
We're so excited. It's really real now, Ida. We're on stream talking about it. People know about it. It's really real now.
Okay, I guess so.
We really have to do it.
We're gonna do it. We're gonna do it to the best of our ability. Won't be done tomorrow. Maybe Tuesday. But
yeah, give us an extra working day. Yeah.
So we're gonna. How can people support the Euphoria right now in its baby steps?
Oh, let's do the thing. Let's see if Darcy set up Nightbot correctly and go Euphoria. That is not working. Excellent. Fantastic. See, extra working day. We'll be fine. You can go and follow us on all the socials. I will drop the link, and you can find us on Twitter, on Blue Sky, on Instagram. Not TikTok yet, because we're millennials and we're resisting it, but it will happen. But it will happen. It's got to happen. Follow us in all those places. Follow us here on Twitch. Follow us on YouTube, where all these VODs will be going
Please.
up. We should set up. We should set up a Patreon quickly. Can you do like a one-off donation on Patreon, like you can on Ko-fi? Because I don't want to do both. We'll find some way. If people want to give us seed money, I don't know. People want to get us started. We'll find a way for you to do that. But right now, just your eyes and your signal boosting on socials is everything. Socials. Follow us on Twitch. Watch us when we stream so we can get those requirements for affiliate. We need a certain number of viewers and a certain number of streams. So yeah, just keep your eyes on us and keep talking about us, and eventually we'll have a Google form where you can pitch things to us. But right now people are just emailing us. People have emailed us with some fantastic ideas already. So please feel free. Drop us an email. Just drop us an email and say hi. Just tell us what you're thinking, what you would like to see from us in the future. Just get in touch. Communication is key.
And to those that already have done that, thank you so
Thank you
much. Your
so
support
much.
is so validating and kind that you take the time to just say, like, congratulations on the new step. How can I get involved?
Yeah.
And I'm like, really? Okay. Oh, that means the world to us. You are wonderful. You're a wonderful community. We are happy to have your time, your energy, your trust in doing so. We're going to do our goddamn best to not disappoint or let you down
We're
in
not
that
going to
regard.
disappoint you.
And even if we can't reach it, we're going to be communicative about it. We're going to be
Yeah.
human about it, where we can't do this or that, and here's why. We're human. What else? Vote for Fiona. Vote for What
For
Am I Rolling
Aida.
podcast.
Yep.
Here's a linky link if you haven't yet. Voting closes July next week.
You had that ready. That was real quick. Vote for Fiona. Vote for Aida. Vote for people of
Girls from These
color.
Worlds. Vote for
Yeah,
people of
vote for Girls from
color.
These Worlds. That's me,
Vote for
basically. You're voting for me.
Tales.
Yeah, vote
That's Darcy and I.
Yeah.
That was Darcy and I. The main impotence. That was us.
The last 6 months of my work was Hooded Tales. The 6 months before that was Girls Run These Worlds. That's been my last year. So vote for me for both of them.
Vote for us.
Vote for people of color. Vote for women. Vote for femmes. Vote for non-binary people. Vote for queer people. Vote for people. Vote for the underdog. Don't vote for the cishet white man. Whatever you do, just don't do that. Oh, and here comes our first ban.
Oh,
Let's
wow.
go.
Congratulations.
I love it.
Oh, we're real.
Streamers now.
So validating.
Mom, we got spammed. All right. Is that everything?
Yes and no.
No, it's not. But is it all for now? Good grief, Ida. Do you have anywhere to be tonight?
I have some more recordings to do.
Wow. Wait, you're recording tonight?
No, the thing we discussed with audio.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's fine. That's fine. We can do that drunk.
They'll be saucy.
So that's a good solid hour and a half. We've been live. Thank you, everybody who has turned out. Thank you, anybody who goes, oh shit, I missed that, and watches the VOD. We appreciate you. We see you. We thank you so much. I think it's fair to say that this has already exceeded our expectations for people tuning in. So we can't say thank you enough.
Thank you. Happy Pride. Have a wonderful
Happy last day of Pride.
Hours of Pride wherever you are in the world. All love is valid.
Queer, gay wrath. Pride, wrath. Yeah.
All love is valid. Black Lives Matter. Science is real. Ceasefire. Divest. Vote.
Land back.
Vote in your local elections and every goddamn election you are in. Oh my God, vote. Local elections really matter. Vote.
Wow, we triggered something in Ida there.
The alcoholic degree.
It's valid. It's so valid.
Thank you.
All right, we'll say bye, guys. Thank you all so much.
I gotta say bye before I keep going.
Bye.
Bye.
We love you. We'll see you later.
Bye.